All these talks about Iran's right to develop a nuclear program and/or weapon are not what make up the core of this dynamic between the empire and the nation of Iran. This drive for a nuclear deal is just the current angle of attack that the US is using to pressure Tehran into submission. Since the revolution and the removal of the Washington puppet in 1979, the empire has been attempting to wrestle back control over Iran from the Iranian people, using every tool in the American arsenal of hard and soft power. And for 46 years, all attempts at toppling the Iranian regime have failed. The reason the empire never gives up is they need every nation on earth under their control. They won't tolerate sovereign states. The globalist elites want a one-world government where all countries are nothing but administrative territories that take orders directly from Washington and Tel Aviv. Iran has been a rebellious thorn in the side of globalism for nearly half a century, and given not only its size and geography, but more importantly, the danger it presents to Israel, Iran is a particular problem for the Zionist American New World Order. This danger Iran poses to Israel is not because the people of Iran are inherently anti-Semitic and just want to remove Israel for no apparent reason. The Zionists and their supporters commonly use this type of meaningless accusation and expect to be taken seriously. The truth is, Iran has been on the receiving end of American aggression at the behest of Israel, which commands American foreign policy in West Asia and lacks the offensive capability to confront Iran alone. In fact, Israel would be unable to confront any of its opponents without full US support. The ultimate aim of Tel Aviv is to gain total control over West Asia, which would enable their expansionist project known as Oded Yinon, or Greater Israel, to be fulfilled. This enlarged state of Israel would stretch from the Nile to the Euphrates, occupying all lands in between these two rivers. Since the formation of the fake Jewish state known as Israel, the Jewish occupiers have been in a continuous state of war with all of their neighbors, most of which have now been pacified. But Iran is the only state that successfully overthrew its American client regime that was friendly to Israel, freeing itself from the shackles of the empire. Under the Shah, Iran was on good terms with Tel Aviv and was supposed to act as a bulwark against Arab nationalism, when at the time most Arab states were still hostile to the Zionist occupation. But all that melted away as the empire picked off each Arab state one by one, leaving only Iran, which effectively replaced countries such as Egypt, becoming the primary opponent of Israel. Iran's hostile posture towards Israel is in reaction to Israeli belligerence. It is defensive and reactionary, and not offensive, as the controlled media tells us repeatedly. The USA, by order of Israel, has been relentlessly attacking Iran through various means, and thus Iran has no choice but to defend itself, also by various means, such as supporting resistance groups that are able to strike Israel as neither share a border and are separated by a significant distance. With a conventional land invasion of Iran completely off the table, and the failures of other attempts at toppling Tehran through color revolutions and propaganda, the options for causing the strategic defeat of Iran are limited. Thus, the USA can only maintain pressure through its sanctions and threats of an air campaign. These American demands being placed on Iran are part of the overall strategy of this game of chess, where each side is waiting for the other to make a mistake. Even if the Iranian government agreed to all American and Israeli demands, completely dismantling their nuclear program, including that for non-military energy purposes, and signed an agreement promising they would never pursue anything to do with nuclear technology indefinitely, allowing US weapons inspectors into Iran to supervise and report back, it would not change the position of Washington. It would simply kick the can down the road, and the US would be back with yet more demands, this time insisting on the dismantlement of their ballistic missiles. Then it would be their air defense, and after that, their naval assets, and so on. You see how this works? In other words, the US and Israel want the complete disarmament of Iran, leaving it wide open to attack, and unable to mount any meaningful defense. Just look at Libya and Iraq. Both complied with US demands, acting in good faith, only to be stabbed in the back. Signing an agreement with the US is like signing a contract with the devil. The US is agreement incapable, and any such agreements are not worth the paper they are written on. Thus, it is impossible to come to any kind of arrangement with Washington, which has a history of breaking agreements. Their modus operandi is to lie, cheat, and steal.
We lied, we cheated, we stole.
To summarize, all these threats, demands, and negotiations are nothing but the US demanding that Iran surrenders, capitulates, and accepts total American dominance. If they succeeded in disarming Iran, they wouldn't necessarily use military force to finish the job and destroy the country. They may just demand that their own puppets be placed, one or two at a time, in Tehran, slowly infiltrating with perhaps a few assassinations until they've taken full control, putting Iran, once again, under the boot of the empire. So, the nuclear deal has nothing to do with nuclear weapons. Iran has enough conventional firepower to utterly destroy every US asset in West Asia and to burn Israel to the ground. It's nothing but a stepping stone along the path to regime change. For any sovereign opponent of the empire, there is no negotiating their way out of the USA's hit list. Iran knew they would eventually have to face the USA and Israel in a direct confrontation. The best they can hope for is a delay. However, the empire can no longer be reasoned with. All rationality has evaporated, leaving an out-of-control beast that is lashing out. Fearing for its position as global hegemon, the US is becoming increasingly deranged, leading to reckless decisions by a ruling class that has been completely detached from reality, presenting a dangerous precedent. If the empire is backed into a corner with no means of reasserting itself, it may just hit the button, bringing everyone else down with them. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. Please also share and leave a like. It's free and it helps the channel. Also, a big thank you to all of you who have very kindly donated. I very much appreciate your generosity, as this channel is demonetized. For one-off donations, it's easy. I accept PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee, or even crypto. Links are in the description. Until next time.